Well, I guess we are continuing my week of being an absolute savage on YouTube. Apparently, is no one safe anymore. I mean, last week it was the Texans. Last video, it was the Texans. And now it's these massive TikTok dorks that make TikTok trucking videos. My God, I just will not leave anybody alone. Nobody. Nothing is safe from old this guy Trucks over here, huh? How about that? So that's what we're going to talk about today. The time I went to TikTok and was bombarded by a bunch of TikTok dorks for committing the cardinal internet sin, and definitely trucking sin, of having my own thoughts and opinions. You know that's not allowed. You know that's not allowed. Have you guys ever thought how weird that is? The world we live in, modern society, where technology can be, not technology. Technology is a thing too, but that's not what I meant. But where thoughts and ideas can be transmitted to other people in real time from all over the globe, and we could all just exchange our thoughts and opinions, and we could just make the world a better place, right? But no. Here's what we all do instead. Anytime we're interested in a topic, we run to the internet and go, okay, I guess I better be told what I'm supposed to think about this thing. And then we read a few things that other people think, and we decide what's the popular opinion that everybody thinks that everybody else should be thinking, and we go, aha! That's what I think too. I think what that guy thinks. Hell yeah. And that's what we chose to do with the internet. And don't ever do what I do, guys. Because I gotta be honest with you, it ain't easy being this guy Trucks. It ain't easy. Don't ever do what I do. Actually, I encourage you to do what I do, but it's a very rough road, you know. The less traveled path, or whatever you would call it. It's a very rough road. Developing your own thoughts. Developing your own thoughts. Yeah, that's a real tough one. Not allowed to do that. Not allowed to do that. I should have had something to drink, huh? Old trucker over here just clearing his throat the whole time. That's hot. Nothing a nice, crisp, cool, refreshing Dr. Pepper won't fix. Somebody owes me money. Somebody owes me money for that. So before we jump into this TikTok insanity, you guys remember the last video about the Texans where I was, oh God, I was making fun of them. Yep, I was making fun of the Texans. And in that video, I talked about how Los Angeles drivers are clearly the superior drivers, and Texas drivers was just trying to mimic how they do it in LA and failing miserably. That was part of the premise of the joke. And well, karma comes at you fast. That's what I'm going to tell you about. Karma comes at you fast, because it was just later that day when that video came out that I had to go through LA. And you remember I was so offended that my dispatcher called me and was going to make sure I was going to get that load done on time. And they said they're going to give you a wake-up call, or give me a wake-up call to make sure I was up and running. If you guys watch that video, you know what I'm talking about. And I was so offended that my dispatcher thought I wasn't going to make it on time. And I didn't make it on time, because LA traffic absolutely killed me that day. But we got lucky because it was only 3 pallets, so I was about an hour late, and they ended up taking it off the damn trailer anyway. So maybe sometimes dispatch, oh God, I'm gonna say this out loud, guys. I'm gonna say this out loud. Maybe sometimes dispatch knows what they're talking about. Hard to say. Hard to say, so I guess I have to give them a little bit of credit where credit's due. Yeah, I was late after LA traffic just absolutely killed me. So, let's talk about this TikTok nonsense, right? Could you imagine being a 40-year-old man and being like, bragging to people in public? I make TikToks. Wow, that's really cool. I actually am not a fan at all of all this short form content. And yes, I did make a TikTok, and yes, we will talk about it. I do not currently have a TikTok because by the time I was done, they all wanted me dead. So anyways, I am not a fan of all the short form content that's out there, but it's fine. It's whatever. If that's what other people like, I guess that's not up to me. But we've got TikToks, and we've got YouTube Shorts, and we've got Facebook Reels or whatever. All this short form content that is actually, in my opinion, making a lot of people really, really fucking delusional, because you get guys that make shorts or TikToks or whatever form you have of short form content. And then because we do unfortunately live in a world where people have a very, very short attention span, you know, these guys will get millions of views because people are mindlessly scrolling, and that's what the world has come to today, where they just mindlessly scroll through these short form content things. And what it does to these content creators is, especially you can see it, just a glaring example on YouTube. And if you like making shorts on YouTube, that's cool. That's your thing. That's fine. But you'll see it really heavily on YouTube because it does both on the same channel, which the YouTube shorts don't lead to people actually watching your long form content. So they should be separate channels, or they should somehow lead people to your long form content, but it does not. So you've got basically a channel that's two channels at the same time. And you've got guys that are consistently doing shorts all the time, just uploading shorts. And what bothers me about a lot of short form content is it's just other people's content. It's stolen content that people upload just so they can complete the delusion of, oh my God, so many people are watching me, and they'll blow up to like 10,000 subscribers, 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, and they're like, look how amazing my videos are. Like, people are just going crazy. And then they put out a long form video and can't even break 100 views. It's fucking nuts, right? Now, I just think it skews the numbers and skews a lot of people's mindsets into thinking like, oh my God, I've struck gold. I've come up with this really great idea to finally like achieve some goals, and that's great. That's a good thing, right? But then when you put out, you know, 35 YouTube shorts in a day and like 10 million views happened in a month, and then you get your YouTube check of $3.87 for all that work, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? So I just think the whole thing is kind of screwy. I'm not a fan at all. I just don't like it. It's just not really my thing. I have a few shorts, but I wouldn't do it on a consistent basis at all. Because it would screw up my long form content. People wouldn't watch. I'd have 100,000 subs and 100 views per video. It would be fucking awful. Anyways, before I realized that, yes, that was a long-winded explanation to actually get to a point. Before I realized that, I had come up with a brilliant idea that I was going to create content on TikTok, right? On TikTok. And then I was going to use that to promote my old YouTube channel, right? And I thought it was just this brilliant idea. I'll go make some TikToks. People will be like, oh God, I have to know more about this guy, right? Which was a dumb idea. And they'll leave the platform they chose to be on, TikTok, and they'll run over to YouTube and they'll subscribe. And my channel would have continued to grow. It doesn't work that way. I know that now. So I started out strong, guys. I started out strong. The first thing I found, the first video I put up, was I found somebody's used sex toy in a truck stop parking lot laying on the ground. And I had recorded a TikTok of it. And this also explains the delusion that short form content creates for a lot of people. That video just exploded, and that's all it was. I don't even think I talked in it. I said something like, what's this? That was it. That's all I added to my own video. What is this? And then I zoomed in on a sex toy laying on the ground. And my God, that video was exploding. 100,000 views in its first hour, just barreling towards 500,000 views. And I went, my God, I'm so good at TikTok. Who knew? I was like one of the world's greatest TikTokers, right? And then that video got taken down, and I got a warning for posting sexual content to my TikTok. And I went, damn it, now I suck at TikTok. So my second video, I said, okay, no more showing sex toys from the truck stop parking lot. That's a real bummer. What am I going to do now? And I had come up on, I was in Wyoming, and I had come up on road construction, right? And I got to get what I thought was one of the funniest videos ever, where I was just sitting in the right lane waiting for, you know, traffic to move, things like that happen when they're closing a lane. When I looked in my side mirror and I saw the thing that the hero truck drivers do, right? The hero truck drivers. A thing that annoys the living fuck out of everyone else, but the hero truck drivers do it. And that thing is, they block all traffic lanes, forcing traffic to stop behind them. And then they go, well, they should have moved over. It's up to me to stop everyone and make everyone move. And it's the silliest fucking thing that I've ever seen, because you know what it does to fix the situation? Nothing at all. I've heard every fucking argument in the books about, and trust me, it's in the books. It's in the big internet book of what you're supposed to think book. Yeah, that's literally what it's called. The big internet book of what you're supposed to think book. And people never even question the title. They said, I think that's a good title. It's a real book. Yeah, check it out. Pretty sure it's real. Or I just made it up and now y'all are going to run with it and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's a real thing. Anyways, I have heard every argument on how it's beneficial, and absolutely fucking none of it makes sense. Right? When you're coming down the interstate and one lane's closing and people have to start merging, it is just going to slow down traffic. That is exactly what's going to happen. And no amount of fucking hero vigilante truck drivers that shut down all traffic lanes before they're actually closed does anything to fix that situation. That's just what happens. It's a bottleneck. You know why they call it a bottleneck? Look, check this out. Check this out. You guys here for a fucking science lesson? This is a bottle. This, even though short, is a bottleneck. When liquid moves towards this bottleneck, you'll see that it all gets plugged up in there, right? Causing the molecules to move slower through the smaller portion of the bottle. Fuck yeah, science. Fuck yeah, science. Well, that's what's going to happen when you take away traffic lanes on an interstate, right? So, you always get the guy that he's just anticipating, I gotta be the guy. It's finally gonna be my turn, baby. I'm gonna be the one to do it. And he swings his big old rig out into both lanes and he fucking just stops traffic right the fuck where it's at, so nobody can pass him anymore. You know why? Because he's an entitled asshole. That's why he thinks that as long as nobody's passing him anymore, that he has just fixed the flow of traffic for everyone involved. Want to know the truth? He didn't. All he did was prove that he's entitled, and now nobody can pass him. And how dare people try to pass him? Did they not know that he was coming through? Nobody knows who the fuck you are, dude. You're just a trucker in the fucking way right now. That's where you're at. And it doesn't do anything. I have not been able to wrap my mind around this thought process that it helps in any fucking way whatsoever. There are people that work on the construction crews that set the merge points. Yeah, it's literally someone else's job, right? Now, I will give the exemption of Oklahoma, but I will not give the exemption that truck drivers should be out there impeding traffic because they want to feel like the big man that day. In Oklahoma, I have seen these signs myself that shows that the traffic lane is ending in, say, a mile or two, right? And it says, state law, traffic must merge now. All right, cool. That's what it says. That means that people that don't start merging now at that point, according to state law, are breaking the law. So, that sucks, right? But is it up to a truck driver to enforce the law? The answer to that is no. We are not hired to enforce the fucking law whatsoever. In almost every other state, it will tell you to use both lanes until the merge point. That means if some... This just made me laugh. Truckers. That doesn't mean actually use both lanes. It means both lanes can be used up until the lane ends. It doesn't mean you take your truck and use both lanes at one time. That lost in translation. That's what just happened. Just text lost in translation. It happens. It happens. But everybody's just waiting for their chance to be the fucking hero out there. And it's so goddamn goofy. It really is. And I've had people argue with me on this since the dawn of fucking time, and there is no recorded event in history where a trucker blocking traffic sped traffic up. I mean, think of the actual logic behind that statement. We use truckers all the time to speed up the flow of traffic. You know how they do it? They just block traffic. That makes no sense. Nothing about that fucking statement makes any fucking sense whatsoever. But one guy told me once, he was out there driving his rig down the road, right? And traffic was slowing down and people were trying to merge and all that stuff, when a cop came over the CB. And he said, "Driver, are you in that rig?" Which just sounds like a stupid question. Where would the driver have gone? Was it, where did he go? He was driving it just a minute ago. I forget what they call it when Jesus comes back to earth and everybody gets lifted out of their sunroofs by the... I forget what it's called, but maybe that's what just happened to him. I don't know. So the cop asked a really stupid question for some reason. "Hey, driver, you still in that rig?" To which that truck driver took his big manly hand and he grabbed the CB radio handheld speaker that is equivalent to Thor's hammer that only he can lift, and he pushed that big old button and veins were running out of his forearm. They were running out of his forearm. And he said, "Officer, I'm right here. What can I do for you?" And that cop said to him, "Hey, I need you to go ahead and get this traffic blocked so that we can get traffic moving," because obviously that cop was fucking brain dead also, because he's like, "I need you to get that traffic blocked so we can get traffic moving." Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. We've got so many geniuses out there, right? And so I took my rig and I blocked both lanes, and wouldn't you know it, traffic started moving. Where did they move? That doesn't make any goddamn sense. But more importantly, why the fuck was a cop asking a truck driver to control traffic? Did you know that cops are specifically trained in these things? They have cars with flashing lights and traffic control devices, and they have backup. If one cop's like, "I'm not enough cop to do this," you know what we need? More cops. So you can go, "Hey, I'm gonna need some backup over here. We got traffic we need to direct." There is no situation ever where a fucking cop asked a trucker to block traffic lanes. And I get it. We're truckers, guys. We tell tall tales, right? That's what we do. I get it. I understand. But don't expect people to believe them and be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, that guy's absolutely right. That's what happened." Absolutely. But it just drives me fucking nuts, because every trucker's just in this, like... Not every trucker, but so many of them are in this mindset that we're the heroes of the road, god damn it, and I can't wait. Somebody told me such a funny story one time on my old channel. I don't know if that viewer's still here, and I don't remember who told me, but we were making fun of truckers with their fucking CB radios and all this stupid goofy shit they say happens on the CB radios. Like, these guys are just pulling off miracles with just a CB radio in their truck, right? But one guy told me that he was riding with the guy that, you know, truck driver, and they were driving down the interstate when they saw two cops off on the side of the interstate. They had their lights flashing, and the guy he was riding with was like, "Oh, I better help these cops out. I better help these cops." And he got that big old rig stopped, right? And he went over to those cops and he said, "Hey, if you boys are in any kind of trouble, I got a CB radio in my truck that you can use." To which the cop said, "Get the fuck out of here." What the hell is that guy? What a hilarious fucking story. That guy saw two cop cars on the side of the road and stopped to help them in case they needed a CB radio. They're fucking cops, dude. What are you talking about? They have them. They go over their shoulder most of the time, and they're always talking on them. They've got communication devices in their fucking vehicles. What the fuck was this guy doing? Like, we have got to be living in an actual third world country if we're out there as truck drivers, you know, helping the cops to communicate with the other cops, because we haven't bothered to put any kind of communication devices in the fucking squad cars. Yeah, apparently the guy was told, "Get the fuck out of here. You gotta go," right? You gotta go. Anyways, what the fuck else? Hero truckers. Hero truckers. You remember a couple years ago, there was, and these guys are probably heroes, but I have a funny observation about it. Maybe they're heroes. I don't know. I don't know. A couple years ago, there was like all these news stories about all the truckers that parked underneath the overpass because there was a guy that was trying to commit suicide, right? So they all parked underneath it, and now he couldn't even jump off the fucking bridge, you know, because there were all these trucks down there. And you know, truck drivers were praised as heroes for stopping this man from killing himself. Maybe they were, maybe they were. I don't fucking know. We don't know this guy's backstory, right? Imagine that, like, the guy's like a forklift operator, let's say, and he spends all his time in and out of trailers, just loading and unloading trailers, right? And then he goes home and he spends all day thinking about, like, what's next in life? What am I going to do? Like, and forklift operators can make decent money, but for a lot of people, it's not about the money. It's about the challenge. It's about, you know, just the excitement, any number of things. And he just spends all his day going, what am I going to do with my life? What is next? There must be more out there, right? And then he goes to sleep and he dreams about working in and out of trailers all his life. And like, he's just in a like crisis where he just wants to, can't figure out what's next. He's stuck in a fucking rut, and it's just trailers all the time, just trailers all the time. So one day he says, you know what? I'm just tired. The world has beat me down. I just can't anymore. And I'd rather not do it, right? I'd rather not do it. So he immediately starts to feel better. And he walks outside. It's early morning, and he starts to take a walk down the road, right? Leaving his house. And he's taking breaths of fresh air, because this just may be the last time he breathes in that fresh air. He's watching the sunrise as he walks. This may be the last time he watches that sunrise, right? And he walks out onto this overpass and he goes, yes, I feel comfortable with this decision. This is what I want to do. And he stands on the edge of that bridge with his eyes closed and just breathing in the air, and calmness comes over him. And he feels better about everything, right? And as he opens his eyes, he steps out on the edge of that bridge and looks down and sees more fucking trailers. This sounds like a fever dream at this point. This guy can't get away from fucking trailers. So he screams and he runs down the road and he gets tased. And then he gets locked up in a mental institution. He's bouncing off the fucking walls right now, going, everywhere I look, there's fucking trailers. My God. And we saved him. What heroes we actually are. I don't know. Maybe I don't feel like it's that heroic now. Maybe the guy was just like making a adult decision, and he's like, you know what, I just don't feel like it anymore. And then, goddamn, why are truckers always fucking up my life? He screams from inside his padded cell, you know, like, they're yelling at me that I'm not loading or unloading fast enough, and they throw their piss bottles all over the place, and I have to clean it up, and I'm not moving anywhere in life, no upward mobility at all. And when I finally had a chance to fucking do what I wanted with my own life, whether that be end it or whatever, these fucking trailers, man, ain't that a bitch, right? Anyways, what were we talking about? TikTok. Okay, good Lord, we'll get there one day, guys. We'll get there one day. So I posted a video making fun of a hero closing down all lanes of traffic. I said, look at this fucking dork back here. Hero of the road right there. Got everyone blocked so nobody can go now. And of course, truckers did what truckers do. Stopped thinking for themselves and went with what's the popular answer to what's going on here. Because we've all witnessed it. We've all witnessed truck drivers shutting down the entire interstate. We've all witnessed that guy that gets in the left lane and goes 2 miles per hour, and he's 3 miles back down the road, not letting traffic move at all, and it makes the whole fucking situation way worse. It has never in the history of humankind fixed the situation. But I was surprised at how many views this video started getting, right? And I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. We're getting some traction here. Maybe people will come over to my YouTube channel. And then I started getting all the goofy TikTok responses. Man, you don't even know shit about trucking, rookie. Maybe if you learned about trucking, you'd learn how to block the damn interstate too. And I would respond with my own video saying, well, I know enough about trucking to keep my truck in its fucking lane. That's a good start. That's basic. That's 101 shit right there. You know, and so I'm getting like bombarded with all these stupid fucking videos about how it's so much better to just shut down the interstate highway system, how that improves the whole fucking situation, goofy asses, right? And then it goes quiet. The calm before the storm. And out of nowhere steps an old man, about 70 years old, smokes 3 packs a day, geriatric as fuck. And he starts telling this old boy right here, this boy right here, what's what in trucking, boy. I'm gonna tell you little something maybe your daddy should have told you about trucking. We always block the interstate because we let these people know that we are large and we are in charge and we run these fucking roads. And when these four-wheelers get out of line, it is our job to protect and to serve and to let them know that we will be in the way all the damn time. And if you don't like that, rookie, if you don't like it, rookie, then you just need a hand in that CDL. I said it wrong. What he said to me was you need a hand in that CDLs because you ain't qualified to have one. To which I responded to him, I'm qualified enough to keep my fucking truck in its lane. He didn't like that. He didn't like that. So everybody else stopped interacting with me. You know why? Because they were doing exactly what I'm telling you guys they've been doing this entire time. They were afraid to speak for themselves. They were afraid to acknowledge that blocking the entire interstate doesn't make traffic move. If that were true, why don't we just blow up chunks out of the interstate with rockets every once in a while? To help the flow of traffic, guys. I mean, as long as we shut down a portion of the interstate, traffic will only move faster. It's simple physics, dummies. I guess. I don't fucking know. So once everybody heard this old man talk, well, the rednecks came out of the woodwork then and started telling me, boy, if I ever see you out there, I'm not saying I'm gonna hurt you. What I'm saying is me and you, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a talk. This goofy shit. This is goofy shit. I do not understand what it is in this redneck mentality that everybody needs to be sat down and have a talking to. For one, I can't understand a fucking word you're saying. Could you bother to speak your fucking words? Use syllables? That would be awesome, right? That would be fantastic. But not everybody needs a good talking to. Not at all. And it ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, right? And because I have this obviously beautiful, youthful face, everybody thinks I'm a young buck. Well, I'm not. Well, I'm not. I'm old as fuck. I'm older than Jesus Christ himself, but you guys don't know that because I use moisturizer. Yeah, makes me feel pretty. Makes me feel pretty. Anyways, they all started coming out of the woodworks. And not even truckers, guys. Not even truckers. I had such a lovely young lady. Such a lovely young lady that was not a truck driver telling me about driving a truck, which seems to be a running joke in my life. Are you guys clowning me? Like, are you guys pranking me right now? I don't know how many people that aren't truck drivers have to spend their time telling me what I don't know about trucking, but it seems to be a very, very much a recurring fucking theme in my life. Thank you, non-truck driver. I will take that into consideration next time I don't know anything about trucking. But this lady drove a cargo van. Yeah, Sprinter van. I knew because she was nice enough to tell me as she wore her giant trucker headset in her video response to me. And she said, I may only drive a Sprinter van and I don't have a CDLs even. But this is why you will never understand trucking. Because don't you know that a quarter mile is a quarter mile? And a half mile is a half mile? And how will you ever get that truck stopped in that amount of time there? And that's why you suck at trucking. What fucking video was she watching? My truck was stopped. The entire time. You know these people that go on and on and on about how you'll never get your truck stopped in time. It just takes forever to get your truck stopped. Are people that are putting themselves and their truck in a position to not stop on time. Did you know that pedal works both ways? When you push it, it's a go pedal, right? When you let off it a little bit, it's a slow down pedal in a sense, in the sense that you're not full fucking go. And if you push the little pedal right next to it or flip the little switch on the dash, you can slow that truck down, which means if somebody were to cut you off, you will never ever be in a situation. I can think of maybe 2 times in my trucking career where I've had to really get on the brake pedal. Twice in 10 years. You know why? Because I'm paying attention to what's in front of me. And yes, people are going to cut you off, and a lot of crazy shit's going to happen right in front of you. You know what you do? Slow down a little bit. Jesus Christ, I'm a fucking genius. Can't believe it. Can't believe it. So I don't know what video she was even watching, because my truck was already stopped. And what does a quarter mile and a quarter mile and a half mile and a half mile got to do with fucking anything? Anyways, it got to the point where everybody was waiting for this old man to say something, right? The old man would speak. And then within 5 minutes, I would get bombarded with 10,000 video responses to me, all saying the exact same thing that he was saying. No independent thoughts whatsoever. And it was funny because I didn't know that so many people would get so worked up if you said, hey, would you do me a favor there, good buddy, and keep your truck in its lane? Oh, you want to piss a trucker off, tell him keep his truck in his lane. Apparently, I don't fucking know, right? But I remember, you know, one night I went to bed and I woke up and the old man was speaking to me. This also sounds like a fever dream, doesn't it? Now that I think about it. But the old man was speaking to me. And he's like, he's taking video in front of his big house that he has. He's like 70, guys. And he's like, if you'd take my advice, young man, maybe you'd learn. But don't worry, by the time we're done with you, oh, you'll learn. You'll learn. So, like, this video was like a weird threat, right? Obviously, what am I gonna learn, right? But like the flex, right? The flex of he's 70 fucking years old and he's showing off his house behind him. Oh, you mean the house you could afford back before a house of that size was 20 million fucking dollars? What was it, 100 grand, and it sat on 50 acres, you know, and now you're flexing on everyone else? You mean when truck prices were affordable, when fuel was affordable, you know, when all those things were in your favor, you went ahead and took advantage of them? It has nothing to do with me learning. It has a whole lot to do with the current state of the economy, where the odds are stacked against fucking everybody out there. It had nothing to do with my inability to learn, right? It's just fucking goofy. So what I would do is I would respond back to the guy and I would just play dumb the whole time. I'd be like, I ain't gonna learn nothing. I already know everything there is to know about trucking. Like, I know more than you. I know more than all your friends. Y'all dumb, you know, and just getting them so fucking fired up. They just it was fucking crazy. It was absolutely insane. And then the old man found his way to my YouTube page, right? And he started like stalking through all my videos and like just making like crazy hateful comments, because I did. I committed the ultimate sin of saying keep your truck in its lane. I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy. And so, but he just making all these like cryptic like threats in my comment section. And then he's also sending me videos on TikTok, and it's like a horror movie where this little old man is like hiding in the darkness going, go back where you came from, go back where you came from, go back where you came from, you're not welcome here, right? And it's like if you bought a house and you found out it was haunted and that was the ghost haunting it, it was that fucking guy. So it only took me a little while before I went, I don't want shit to do with these fucking dorks. These guys are even worse than YouTube. And YouTube's got some hive-minded motherfuckers over here too. And if you don't believe me, check back in 2-3 days from now, because normally the hate comments take like two to 3 days to start coming in after the video went out. That's when all the angry people show up. It's weird. I don't know why that is, but I will leave them all there, and maybe I'll be proven wrong. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but there will be just angry comments about me daring to understand that blocking both traffic lanes doesn't improve traffic. And nobody will provide a good example either. If you go through those comments in a few days from now, nobody will provide an example of how it actually works. They'll be like, well, because it increases the flow of traffic. Let's go back to bottlenecks. Let's go back to jet engines. Let's go back to fire hoses. Any number of things. None of it increases the flow. It slows the flow. Now, the difference is we're not being compressed like in a jet engine, right? In a sense we are, but we're not being compressed so much that we need an outlet and we're going to fly out of there at 900 fucking miles per hour once we get to the other side. That's not how that's going to work. The very simple concept of a bottleneck is it does slow the flow of whatever's going through it. And no amount of blocking roads in any capacity is going to make that any better. It makes the situation much fucking worse. And to wrap it up, my genuine closing feelings on that is all the truckers out there that think it's okay to shut down open traffic lanes. I think they need to make examples and start handing out tickets for impeding traffic, because that's what you're doing when you're closing an open traffic lane with your truck. You are impeding traffic. And I would have some serious questions about your ability to operate a motor vehicle, a commercial motor vehicle, because your cognitive abilities have clearly suffered in a way that you see an open lane on the interstate and you go, oh shit, I better stop. That sounds dangerous. It sounds like it might be time to hang up the keys if you think stopping in an open traffic lane on the interstate is ever a good idea. The only time you should ever do that is if the truck is completely disabled for some reason and won't move, or you are suffering a medical emergency. There is no other reason in any scenario where you should be shutting down an open traffic lane. Doesn't make sense. Here comes the rage. See you guys.